So here lies today's project. We just got this car a couple days ago. It's a 2009 Pontiac Vibe all-wheel drive sport. Got the shiny rims on it. 2.4 liter 4-cylinder. And I don't know. It's not a bad car. I'm not really a big fan of like the newer cars, but this is the Gasket Vibe that we got, and we really like these cars. So I seen this one for sale and jumped on it, and so far it's a pretty good car. So usually when a new car joins the family, it kind of gets a complete tune-up once over and stuff before it gets put on the road. Interior is pretty nice. Pretty nice little car. It's actually in pretty good shape. It's got a few minor dents and stuff in it. It could use a good buff. I actually started buffing it here yesterday, just this quarter panel and part of the door. I don't know if you can really see the difference, but it really brought it to life pretty good. Today's a gloomy day out, rainy, pouring out, and so it's in the garage. As you can see, I have tons of room in this garage. I mean, you know, there's at least 30 feet on each side of this car. So trying to do a whole lot in here is going to get miserable real quick. So I'm going to start off. Got an oil change for it, spark plugs, valve cover gasket, transmission filter and pan gasket, and transmission fluid change, because the lighting in here really sucks. I'll get some better lighting when I start doing the work, but you can see right there the valve cover gasket leaks pretty good. It's all wet down in there and stuff. And the transmission fluid is pretty dark. So definitely want to get that fluid changed before it gets driven, causes any damage or anything. You know, it's surprising because the other Vibe that we have, I changed the transmission fluid was black just like that, and once I changed it, I thought, oh, it's just a matter of time before it gets black again, because that's usually how it goes. And surprising, I mean, like another 50,000 miles, 60,000 miles got put on the car, and the transmission fluid was just as red as it was when I changed it. So I think these Vibes have pretty good bulletproof transmissions in them. So I guess we'll go ahead and start getting that stuff done. Another thing I have to fix is this door here. This car was in a minor wreck, and the fender got pushed back, and it hits right here on the door. So the door needs to be adjusted too. I don't know exactly what happened, but this gap right here is pretty big. So I actually think the door just needs to be moved back. I think someone aligned these panels that didn't know what they were doing. Yeah, it's like my fingernail could barely get in there. So this stuff needs a little bit of tweaking. I had a car one time that did this, and it just hit every time. And then one time I opened up the door and it just destroyed this whole area, and that was it. So before that happens, definitely needs some attention. So let's go ahead and start getting the oil and stuff changed and all that. Try to get some better lighting going on in this place, and we'll see you back when we get there. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is change the valve cover gasket in this thing. And doing that, I'm also going to do the spark plugs because it's underneath this cover right here. So I got some better lighting set up for you guys. That light there and a light there under my toolbox thing on the wall. So that kind of made a big difference. So let's I don't really know exactly what I'm getting into. I'm not a Pontiac mechanic or Toyota, whatever motor this thing is by any means, but let's see if we can get the valve cover gasket in this without too much drama. Alright. I did work on the other Vibe. That's got the smaller 1.8 motor in it. So I mean, should be pretty much the same. It looks relatively similar. It's pretty cool. This car's got a built-in tool and bolt and nut holder. Gotta tell you, I really gotta hand it to these cars. Alright. I just like to keep stuff like this in order. I don't know if it's necessary or not, but I think it's always good to keep things like coils and stuff like that all in order when you take it apart. Put it back together the way it came apart. Always seems like a good idea. There's number 4. Some more stuff to take off. There. Oh. Alright. Oh, this thing, whatever this thing is going to have to get out of the way. Not really sure what it's attached to. No, that didn't sound good. That was my socket. Damn it. Hose is junk. There. Now we'll just put a new hose on it when we put it together. There we go. There's everything. Huh, actually looks pretty clean in there. No sludge or nothing. No water. You know, white foamy stuff. I see why this thing leaks. Wow. This thing's, in some spots, it's like as hard as a rock. I'll probably break in it getting it off. Yeah, there it goes. Look at this. It's like really... Right here, it's like, oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's not good. So that's why she leaks. Well, I have to be careful not to get any of this shit down in the motor. Alright, let's see. I'm thinking the gasket goes into the cover itself first. Make more sense. That seems like it makes the most sense. Yeah. That's actually a pretty nice idea for the gasket. Got a little channel it fits in. There. It's all seated down in that channel nice. There, I think I'm pretty confident that was the cause of the problem with the oil leaking. So let's go ahead and get this set on, and not without knocking that gasket out of there. Looks like it went on good. Looks like it went right on. Alright. I got the valve cover, bolts all tightened down and everything all on. This PCV hose here, I broke taking it off, that goes back here. It's just all dry and hard, and it's like as hard as a rock. So, you know, of course, the side that goes on the intake is a lot bigger than the side that goes on the valve cover. You know, this kind of stuff is really frustrating. So I ended up just getting a piece of air hose, old air hose, and heating one end up to go down there. And then just doing that. I mean, it's not like it's anything critical. It's just a PCV. All it does is takes blow-by gases or whatever from the crankcase and sucks them back into the intake. So, you know, nothing critical, no big deal. Wasn't about to spend 30 bucks on an OEM part just for that. So, you know, this hose here is like the same thing. It's as hard as a rock. I don't know, I'll fight with that some other time. So for now, let's just get the spark plugs changed, see what they look like. Oh, jeez. Those are in there. Holy shit. Unreal. Nuts. That was super tight. I don't know why people think they have to put 800 foot-pounds of torque on a spark plug. Wow, that's it's like got freaking shit growing on it. Well, alright. Got the new ones. Make sure they match. Hold them up against each other. Make sure nothing's gonna smack the pisser in there. Looks good. Go ahead and get these changed. Yes, you should be using a spark plug socket. And also, yes, I can't find my spark plug socket, so I have to make do with what I got for now. Alright, those are all on. Let's get the oil packs put back on. Those back on. The stupid hose here is going to be a pain. This thing is hard. This thing feels like a piece of PVC pipe. I'll try it quick. Wow. Don't break something else. That's crazy. Man. Oh, we got her. lot of good that's gonna do, that clamp. That freaking hose is so hard. I'm gonna do anything. Alright. Alright, I think everything's back together. I got a new air filter and for it, but that didn't come in yet. So got everything together under here. Everything looks good. Nothing got broke. So let's get this thing back on. I gotta say, these Vibes here are pretty user friendly. They're actually pretty decent to work on compared to a lot of the newer vehicles. And if there's somebody that'll jump right up and have something to bitch about a newer vehicle, it's me. Because I don't like newer vehicles. If I had it my way, everything from the 50s, 60s, and 70s would still, nothing would have changed. All this electronic garbage and computers and stuff like that would not exist if I had it my way. Alright, got the car jacked up. Jack stands under it so we don't get squished. Now this car is really clean underneath. That's one of the main reasons why I jumped on it so quick. This thing is, I don't know if you can see it or not, but like the bottom of the subframe and everything, the engine cradle. This car is really, really clean. So it's always really nice, especially a car coming from New York State. Alright, so let's get this transmission oil drained. It's actually cool. It's got a drain plug on the bottom of the pan. I really like that. You know, most of them you gotta just take the pan off to drain the oil and it makes a huge mess. Yeah, that transmission oil is really black. Like that's really black. Definitely want to get that changed before this thing goes anywhere. Let's get these bolts off here. Let's get them loose. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get all these bolts off and we'll catch up there. Oh, there we go. There she is. Alright. Yeah, it's pretty black. Wow, holy shit. Alright. Valve body. Alright, well, let me, you know what, I may as well just take this filter off now. That way everything can drain. There we go. O-ring in there. Yeah. There she is. Usually when you do these, there's a magnet inside. Actually, looks like we got two of them. There's a magnet there. I always want to inspect to see. I mean, this ain't the worst I ever seen. There's metal on it, but there's always going to be. I mean, it's an automatic transmission. You got clutches in there that are engaging and disengaging all the time. There's friction. Wherever there's friction, there's going to be stuff from it. But this ain't the worst I've ever seen. I've seen some that were just loaded. So I would say this ain't too bad. The car has 150,000 miles on it. I don't know exactly. Something like that. 150, 140 something. I don't know. I'll go ahead and get that clean. But let's put this aside and open the new. Actually, hang on, let me get some paper towels here. There was some issue finding this thing. Like, I guess this car had 2 4-speed options and 1 5-speed option, automatic transmission, and it was kind of hard to try to track down the correct I'm distracted here trying to do 3 things at once. It's hard to track down the correct filter and gasket, so I just want to keep this box nice in case this thing has to go back. Let's compare everything here and make sure it's the same before we proceed. Alright, what do we got? Okay, it looks like... Nope, that's different. Oh no, it's not. I had it upside down. Alright. Hopefully you guys can see that. Well, it does look the same. Okay, this comes with the O-ring, so I'll have to pop the O-ring out of the other thing. And, that's the same. Okay. Well, filter looks the same. How about the gasket? Boy, this thing is dirty. Alright, let's put that there. Hopefully the gasket is the same. Yeah, that's the same. I said it was an 18-hole pan. So, alright, everything's the same. So, let me get this cleaned out good and get the gasket off of it. You know, I could probably just keep this original gasket right on, but I might as well just change it. Yeah. Alright, let me get all this stuff cleaned and prepped, and we'll catch up when we get back under the car. Alright, so here we are back under here. Got everything all cleaned up. Pretty much ready to go back together. So, go ahead and get this new gasket, or this new filter on here. Alright, that done. So I got the pan all really clean right here. Got the magnets back in. There's usually little things right here where the magnets go. It's pretty self-explanatory. Careful not to knock any crap inside this thing. Visibility isn't really the best. I can at least get 2 bolts started. That'll at least get it lined up for me. I think I got it. Yeah, there we go. There. All right. Okay. Alright, so you guys get the point. I'm going to go ahead and tighten all these down. And then we're going to drain the oil. Just get all that stuff done. Then I'll get the car off the jacks. And then we'll just top everything off once it's let down. Alright, the transmission pan is all tightened down. So let's go ahead and get the oil drained out of it. Wow. All right, and next comes the filter. Hopefully this thing isn't super tight because I don't have a tool to get up in here for this thing. I don't have one this small, so hopefully I can get it off without too much trouble. There we go. Wow. That's good. That thing actually wasn't wicked tight. That's good. There's so many different size oil filters on these cars. You can own every tool in the world for oil filters and you still won't have the right one. Make sure the O-ring came off with that. Yeah, it did. Alright, we're good. Get the new one put back on. Alright, let me get this tightened up and we'll see you on top. Oh, just one more quick check before I let the jack down. It's always good to check wheel bearings, ball joints, tie rod ends, stuff like that. Take the tire and go back and forth like that, see if you feel any play up and down. The bigger trucks and stuff like that, I usually get a bar in there and go like that, but this is small enough. Make sure everything goes freely. Check the struts. If you do have any play, you can always have somebody else do that and then get underneath and you can usually find out where it's coming from pretty easy. So let's go ahead and get this thing let down here. And we'll get it filled up with fluids. There we go. All right. Okay, so first of all, let me start with the transmission fluid. That's going to be a little harder. Transmission funnel. I looked up the specs on this car and first of all it calls for Dextron 6 full synthetic and it says you're going to need 3.7 quarts to do a transmission filter job. So I figured I'll put like 3 in and check it. You're supposed to have the car idling in neutral at operating temperature when you check it, so I'll probably put like 3 in and then start it up or whatever. Alright, let's get the oil put in. Looks like it's right about to the full line there. Alright, so that's good. Let's see what the transmission oil looks like. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell where that is. This isn't super important, but we might as well fill the washer fluid up. This cool, this thing's got a dipstick for the washer fluid. That's kind of neat. Might as well fill that up. Actually, I'm gonna clean this funnel out. I don't know if that little bit of oil residue in there is gonna get on the windshield. Then it's really gonna be a fun job to try to get that windshield clean. There we go. That's better. Alright. So fill that up. Wow, the thing holds a lot. I didn't think that whole gallon would fit in there. Crap. Wow. Let's see where we're at. Wow, that's only like right there. Still got all that it could go. Probably most of that's the neck of the reservoir. Gallon ought to last a while. Windshield washers are always nice to have. Coolant looks good, I checked that. I don't see any oil crap in there, so. Well, black paint looks pretty good when it's all nice and shiny, but black paint's probably one of the hardest to keep clean and keep from getting scratched. As you can see, this is pretty scratched right here. It's got a lot of stuff in it, so I'm gonna go ahead and buff that out. I'll give this car a good buff and wax and everything initially, so that way we'll be good for a while. Normally I'd wash the car, but I don't know how much buffing I'm going to be able to do in the garage because of the space, so I'm just going to wipe it down with some water to get all the dirt and stuff off of it, so I'm not rubbing that into the paint and scratching it even more. Should have washed this car last night before I brought it in. Alright, so we're done washing the car now. It came out pretty good. It looks a lot better after it was buffed. So I washed all the excess buffing compound off everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and start waxing it now. I'm gonna start with this door right here. This is what I like to use for wax. This Meguiar's paste wax works pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. Alright, that's gonna look pretty good. It's got some watermarks and stuff in it, but it's not a show car. Not gonna worry too much about it. Well, here it is, all buffed, hand glazed, and waxed. I ended up just going all out and getting all the watermarks out of it, hand glazing it and waxing it. So I did it right. Came out really good. Sun's going down right now, so you can't see it really good, but it does look good in the sun. Came out really nice. So I think I'm just gonna wait to fix the fender and the door for another time, maybe another video, not sure. So it's not that big of a deal. I just have to probably bend some stuff around. But the only two things I have left to do on this car is the air cleaner and the rear wiper blade, and everything that I could see is pretty much done. So we'll get to doing that. Yeah, it's pretty black. Time for a new one. was easy. And that was easy too. Alright, well, I think I'm going to end this video here. Not really going to know what else I'm going to have to do to this car until it starts getting driven. So, I'll keep everyone posted. Maybe we'll blow it up the first day I drive it. Maybe not. So, it's good enough for the 2009 Pontiac Vibe now. So, until next time, thanks for watching.